sick to my stomach right after she found out she was being traded to the Las Vegas Aces mid-season. A truly unexpected move that shocked the league, but it got the Las Vegas Aces the power forward they had been searching for, and it put NaLyssa Smith right on the path to a championship, putting her next to one of the greatest players on the planet right now. After already having a pretty up and down experience in the league, and then believing she was getting a second chance, a fresh start on the Dallas Wings. It may not have seemed like these two would collide or intersect, but that trade would end up saving NaLyssa Smith's career and the Las Vegas Aces season. Starting out in San Antonio, Texas, she was actually a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, averaging over 20 points, over 13 rebounds, and a handful of blocks per game. So she was heavily recruited, having options like South Carolina, Ohio State, and Louisville. Now she would end up choosing Baylor, which was an interesting choice because she wasn't walking into a starting role, which would actually play in her favor and Baylor's at that time. But she was definitely putting in the work in the background, and ultimately was praised for winning them a lot of games because she just wasn't on the other team's scouting report, particularly in her freshman year because Baylor walked away with the NCAA championship. Now by her sophomore year, she got that starting role, and that's when she really started to flourish. You saw her points and rebounds more than double, showing off how much of a bucket getter she was on top of being an excellent rebounder. She had great timing and a quick second jump to get that ball. She was running hard on transition, so she got some easy points just running the floor with a nice touch around the basket. So she was truly excelling in her position. By the time she graduated Baylor, she was averaging 22 points a game and 11 rebounds. She won the Wade Trophy, she got All-American honors, definitely projected high in the draft, and go number 2 overall to the Indiana Fever, only behind Ryan Howard. Now the Fever already had Kelsey Mitchell, so that pillar was set. But this was a wild draft. They had so many picks. They picked up NaLyssa Smith, Emily Inksler, Lexi Hull, Queen Egbo, and 3 others later in the draft. So this was obviously rebuild mode, but in that same breath, you would think Smith got a lot more attention than she got. It's hard to say that at her position, but not at the number you picked her. And I'll say overall, she was solid, very solid in Indiana, but it just didn't look like it fit. Her playstyle, her energy, playing on a pretty guard-heavy team, she did her role rebounding, doing her best, grabbing assists and transitions, but honestly, she just never looked happy in Indiana. It didn't look like a good fit for both parties. As of right now, she's had her highest scoring and rebounding season in Indiana, but they barely made any noise in the playoffs, and by the time you get Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, the entire dynamic and feel of the team has completely changed. So when she was traded to the Dallas Wings, it actually felt like a bit of a blessing in disguise. It just wasn't working there. So she got a new shot and a fresh chance in Dallas. And I'll even give it to Dallas in making sure she was comfortable there, making sure there were teammates she was familiar with there. And she was playing okay in Dallas, not great, but okay. Dallas was still going through its thing, trying to figure out where it wanted to go with Paige Beckers and Arike Gumbawale. So there too, she was not the focus. So it's not necessarily that much better stats-wise than Indiana, but she was probably happier in that situation. Now during this same timeline, the Las Vegas Aces are just trying to get back to greatness. They're still trying to find that combination that works well with Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and more importantly, A'ja Wilson in that front court. They had been looking for depth. They lost Cheyenne Parker-Tyus due to pregnancy. They lost Megan Gustafson to injury. They even tried to lean on their 2024 pick. Liz Kitley was a 3-time ACC Player of the Year, and she missed her entire season from an ACL injury. And then they gave Tiffany Mitchell a try, a pretty decent veteran guard, and they tried to pair her next to A'ja Wilson. It just wasn't the right fit for her skill set, and they were definitely just trying to push her into a different position. Her height probably gave her that advantage too, but that didn't work at all. So the Aces were working their options. They tried in-house, they tried the draft, they tried free agency, and who was left after the season started, and everybody just struck out. So using that 2027 draft pick to acquire NaLyssa Smith was just another swing at getting that right.
Now playing for the Las Vegas Aces, same franchise.
Right.
Talk about how full circle of a moment that is for you.
I think it's crazy. I always tell Becky I used to watch her play, so I think it's crazy just to, be on Vegas now. I wish they would go back to San Antonio, but I'm glad to be in Vegas,
Did you get to go to any of Becky's games growing up or no?
Yeah, I went to all the Superstars games. That's when the tickets was like $2 and you get free food, so I was at all them games.
So as much as NaLyssa Smith was sick to her stomach, it was immediately overpowered by the idea of being paired with A'ja Wilson and being on a championship team. The Aces had lost the year prior, but they were still on their championship run. And this put Smith right in the middle of that. It gave her immediate expectation, structure, players that could be a veteran presence, as well as a coach that could get to her on a different level. And it worked. She started nearly every remaining game for the Las Vegas Aces that season. The only things that went up were her playing time and field goal percentage. She lost stats on rebounds, assists, and points, but she's happier. It's actually working. She looks like an excellent power forward on this team, next to A'ja Wilson, grabbing the rebounds, running the floor hard, being in the right place on defense. And the Aces are eating this up.
Look at that little smile.
Now, you played for the Silver Stars,
Yeah.
so talk about how this is just so full circle and what NaLyssa means to this team.
Oh man, she means a lot to this team. I mean, I think her acquisition, her coming here, really started to turn the tide of our season. So she's been huge for us. She's still, young, which is fun because I think there's still, her ceiling is super high.
They filled this spot unexpectedly, but it's turning out to be a great fit for both parties. Being traded to the Wings probably did feel like a fresh start. It was also teetering on the edge, because if it didn't work, she was probably out of the league. The W is pretty ruthless when it comes to that. Even #1 picks can find themselves on the outskirts after 2 to 3 trades in this league. And to her credit, NaLyssa has stayed active in the offseason. She's played in Galatasaray and overseas leagues. She actually won the champion medal in Athletes Unlimited in 2023. She even played in Unrivaled in their first season for a little bit there. And I say that to say she's just well seasoned in the game of basketball. And for someone so close to being on the outs, this trade literally put her back on the right trajectory. Coming out of Indiana, you really didn't know where she was going to land. And now the Aces have definitely rejuvenated that career path. They not only look like a championship team, but they look like they have a lot more years in them now by adding Smith to this lineup. Barring some ridiculous injury, I really don't think she has too much to worry about now. She's put in the work. She's looking at a long career now. And most importantly, a home on the Aces.
Hi, man. How you feeling? From work to work. From work to work.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, players.